Hello, welcome to John's Author Diary for the weekend in July 14th, 2019. I've had another productive week. I've carried on working on Blind Reset. I am now about 8 scenes away from the end, so I should have a first draft of this book ready by the middle of next week, maybe sooner. I've also finished a non-fiction project that I was working on called Podcasting for Authors. So I've sent the draft out to some beta readers now who are fellow authors, and they're going to read it and give me some feedback before I go and do the redraft. And as well as that, I also responded to some feedback on Wheel of Fortune, which is book 10 in the Ravenglass Chronicles. So I'm going to try and wind down a bit next week. I have got some stuff that I want to do. Obviously, I want to finish Blind Reset and I want to do a few fiddly editing tasks. But I've been getting up at 4:45 all week, and I've been doing this Miracle Morning stuff since the 16th of June, so just under a month now. And I'm just starting to feel a bit tired. And I've been told by a few people who've done this that this is the hardest bit between day 22 and day 45. So I think the next few weeks are going to be difficult. But once I get past that, that'll be really good. And then once I've been doing it for a couple of months, it'll just be a habit. And I'll probably be able to get up without an alarm and all things like that. So it's just a case of pushing forward, getting through the tiredness. I don't think I've been as productive this week as I have last week. I think it didn't help that on Monday night my son decided to wake me up at 1:30 in the morning. So a disturbed sleep. I kind of felt a bit like a zombie. I think what's interesting now is what I considered a poor performing day on Tuesday is what I would have considered a good day before doing this Miracle Morning stuff. So I got 5,000 words done, but I've been averaging in the region of 8 to 10,000 words. So I definitely took a big hit that day. But that's fine. I've got the summer holidays coming up. I'm going to continue getting up. I'm going to try and do a couple of hours of work in the morning and try and grab time here and there. But to be honest, I don't know whether I'll get much done in terms of actual drafting. I would like to try and get Justice done, which is book 11 of the Ravenglass Chronicles. So that needs redrafting. I've got the first draft of that in the bag. And I've also got an outline for book 12, which is called The Hanged Man. So I've been doing a bit of an experiment with the writing because over the past few weeks I've been editing first thing in the morning. So doing rewrite, second draft kind of stuff. And this week I decided to go all in on first draft stuff. Now, I don't know whether this is linked to my son waking me up, but I don't think that is as productive. So I think the mornings are going to have to be for rewrites and things like that. And then when I get back after dropping my son off at school, that's when I'm going to do first draft stuff. So I'm going to have to work out how that's going to work with projects going forward. I mean, what I'd like, if I can get it to work, is to have almost like a bit of an equilibrium going where I will draft scenes one day, edit them the next morning, and then draft the next scenes and so on. So I'm just working on one project and kind of doing a second draft as I'm going along. I'm going to have to experiment with that because I don't know what the flow will be like with that, whether actually doing that will disrupt just getting the story out there. So we'll see. But I've been really pleased with how Blind Reset has gone. I got all of the real world scenes done and the first 19 of the game world scenes, so I've got 8 more to do. Now, felt a little bit of resistance on this last bit, so I think that's my brain telling me that I need to revisit the outline, do something to really push the drama of the ending. So I've read a couple of good books this week. They're both on similar topics. I read Deep Work by Cal Newport, which is about focus and flow states and things like that. And on a similar vein, I read a new book, so this was an advanced copy, so it's not quite out yet, but this is called Creative Thinking by Jonathan Firth. Now, I thought this book was excellent, really well done. He's a cognitive psychologist and goes really deep into how to be more creative. It's just full of tips and tricks and things like that. So I'd highly recommend giving that a read. It's not just for authors, it's for anyone doing anything creative. He talks about coders, he talks about business people, he talks about filmmakers, artists, musicians. You know, it was anyone who is in a creative field. There's some really useful stuff in there, and some of it I've not read in other places before. So next week is my last week before the summer holidays. My aim is to get Blind Reset done. I want to get a solid plan for a new non-fiction book. And I'm also going to be going over the final edits of Wheel of Fortune, hoping to get that out probably in the first week in August. We had a great discussion on the Sci-Fi Roundtable this week. So the episode that went live on Thursday, we talked about artificial intelligence and androids. And this was an episode that was actually recorded over 3 continents. So there's 5 of us on the roundtable. We take a real deep dive into the subject. I think I might have been the most pessimistic on there, so do check that out. Finally, I'd really like you to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. I don't think I've really asked this before, but it'd be really cool to get some positive reviews and help more people discover the show. So until next time, cheerio.